If you were born somewhere between 96 and 1999, happy first ever Saturn return. What does this mean for you? What the heck is it? I know there's a lot of doom and gloom around it, but it's where one levels up. And this is your time to mature and come into your own confidence and start to trust yourself, your ability, and your authority. Saturn return is an upgrade, but it's an upgrade that happens because you work for it. So a Saturn return can be very challenging when you don't want to grow up. And this is when you become a serious person, if you will. It is time to go big, but it's time to roll up your sleeves. And so Saturn in of itself is the planet of discipline. It's kind of the planet of reality, life on life's terms. It's also considered truth and beauty, but it's the reality of what's happening. And again, Saturn gives us blessings, but the blessings of Saturn come through your work, your efforts, your discipline, your focus, again, being serious. So it's the adulting planet. Often for people, this is when one might get a huge promotion or some sort of upgrade at work. Great time to start a business. It really is a level up, but let's get into it a little bit. Saturn returns can be intense because it's meant to bring about big changes, right? So you're going from some level of consciousness of being a little more dependent on sort of the outside world, if you will. I'm an employee, whatever the case is. This is you stepping into your worldly ability, your worldly power. So it's like you're given more tasks. Saturn is the task master. So you're given the keys to, a larger castle, if you will. It's sort of like going from riding a bicycle to getting, a new sports car. So there's a learning curve, but often life-changing events will happen in a Saturn return. It's often a time late 20s, early 30s, that relationships either lock in and go to another level, like marriage and commitment, or they dissolve. Hopefully, if they dissolve, it's because it wasn't meant to be, or the other person doesn't want to mature. But this is about you being able to mature. And the deeper teaching is going to be about trusting your own authority, your own ability. It's powerful. You're given a heavier responsibilities, right? So it is the planet of responsibilities, but you're given more responsibilities because you're able to handle it. Remember the teaching, the universe won't give you more than that which you can handle. There's a famous saying from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. But if you flip that on its head and say, with great responsibility becomes great power, that should unlock something else for you. Because when you level up through your sort of managerial skills, your adulting ability in the world, taking responsibility for your actions, showing up on time, suiting up, doing the right thing, you really can move mountains. And when you have more capacity, when you have more Saturn ability, you can really cause changes in the world. And Saturn kind of rules planet Earth. Again, think moving mountains and where you want to get stuff done. You kind of go through it for about 3 years. And so you're going to be tested. If there is a planet that tests you, it's Saturn. It is said in the yogic traditions, there are two types of teachers. There are Saturn teachers and there are Jupiter teachers. Now, I believe that each teacher can embody both, but the Saturn teacher is the one who punishes you for not doing the homework. The Jupiter teacher is the one who praises you and gives you blessings for doing the homework and doesn't say anything if you don't do it. So Saturn's going to help you come into strength. Saturn is where you apply discipline, right? So perhaps you have a skill set, right? And you want to take it to another level. You have to use Saturn to have the discipline and that sacrifice to put the time and the energy and the work. But I think a key way to think of this is it's blessings and miracles that you work for. And sometimes just doing the work leads the way, right? So whatever you're doing in your life, whatever your job is, even if it's a job that you're like, oh, I'm so above this, I hate it, or oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed because I'm in over my head. The Saturn return can be a blessing because it's going to force you to mature. And maybe you're thinking, okay, it's time for a change. This job is not what I should be doing. Or I have this big opportunity, but now I could just, man up, woman up, and adult up and do it. Saturn gets it done. You just have to do it. So it's gumption and focus and discipline. But the other thing is, if you're in a position that you feel you're above, you should still use the energy of Saturn to show up and do the best job of whatever it is that you're doing, even if your ego thinks it's below you, because the universe is not going to reward you with bigger opportunity if you're treating what you have in front of you with some disdain or resentment or petty ego crap. That's not how this works. Saturn is going to come in and sort of lay down the law and say, all right, here's the reality, dude. You got to do this. You got to do that. You want this. This is your goal. You want a big successful career or a promotion, or you want to buy that house, or, you want to be married, or whatever the case is. Well, here's reality, and you got to do it. And you could be a little, sucker about it and, cry like a little bitch and not do it. And this is where people crumble in their Saturn returns, because they don't want to do the work. So if you've been getting by scot-free, relying on your charm and good looks, Saturn does not care about that. Saturn's the boss. And you're going to be instructed in your Saturn return. I just think of it as a divine boss. But what is this boss trying to do? What is this hard teacher trying to do? It's trying to get you to become more powerful, trying to get you to become stronger, and trying to chisel you into someone who can accomplish a lot. Saturn really gets it done, but it's not it's not always fun. It's not the party sign, that's for sure, or the party planet. It's the reality of life, but it provides the way, right? So there is a work ethic. But when people enter their Saturn return with a good attitude and say, okay, this is my time to level up into my sort of worldly ability and worldly power, a Saturn return is going to provide tremendous opportunity for you. So don't fear it. And if you're afraid, just look at where you don't want to mature. And it's just time to get real. So happy Saturn return.